Hey guys, it's BCJ from the Valorant team. Today I'm going to be hosting this week's Nerf or Buff. So this is how it's going to work. If anything that I think is overrated, I'm going to nerf it. If anything is underrated and I want to give it some appreciation, I'm going to buff it. Let's get started. Apex Legends. Wow, what a first one to start with. It's an old game. I used to play pro. I played under T1 back in the day with Kurt and Zerg. Then after that, I played with Snipe Down, the legendary man himself, and I loved playing the game. I loved competing. I loved streaming it. It was really fun. But coming down to the end of the day, it's a battle royale, and I'm not too crazy on battle royale. I gotta nerf it for sure. Psycho. Don is our coach. He's been super impactful, and little known fact, he actually is in the Call of Duty PC community. So when I was playing Battalion back in the day, I actually knew him from a couple mutual friends. Weird thought, and I even met him in person at a Philadelphia one event. So big friends with him. He's been super crucial to our success so far, and definitely got to give him a buff. New York pizza. I haven't eaten too much New York pizza. I've definitely had some, and it's not from New York, so who knows? I might be a little biased, but it's good. One of my favorite types of pizzas is definitely pizza I can hold in my hand. I don't like a pie where I have to use a fork and knife. That's just me, it's preference. So I say New York pizza is definitely a buff. I like New York pizza. CS:GO. Oh wow, CS:GO was the first game I actually ever played on PC. I played with my middle school friends, and we were all silver trash. And over time, we got better and eventually got to Supreme and Global. And I never got Global, but I got Supreme, and enough to know that about the game, all the fundamentals, enough to compete in. And I never really did compete. My friends did a little bit more than I did, but it taught me so much that it's just invaluable. It's so much experience from that game. It's such a prestigious game. Everyone's so talented, even at the lower levels. That was probably the best thing possible for me coming over to PC gaming. It really made me want to keep grinding PC. It kind of taught me everything that I needed to know to get ready to compete. And so yeah, definitely got to buff it. It's one of the greatest games of all time. Sova, okay, controversial, but I actually think Sova is not overpowered right now. I know it's weird, but I didn't play him before I joined XSET, actually. Little known fact, people don't even know that, but I played him as my fourth played agent, and when I joined XSET, I one-tricked it basically because we didn't have a Sova player. And so over time, I really grew my love for the character, and I think it's one of my favorite characters, if not the favorite character in the game. Just everything you can do with it. You can be aggressive, you can be passive, you can do so much for your teammates. The only thing that sucks is that there's no character quite like him, and so everyone considers him overpowered because of that. But in fact, I think he's great for the game, and I think if Valorant were somehow able to add another Sova, it'd be amazing for the game. And I think it'd be really fun and good for the game, healthy-wise. So yeah, definitely got to buff Sova. That ain't changing ever. Tall people. Okay, whoever put this one in is definitely cruel. Start off right there. Tall people definitely need a nerf. Way too overrated. Come on, we're talking to the 5-2 Powerhouse, and we're gonna have a topic of tall people. Gotta nerf it. Way too overrated. Fracture, a new map. I actually really like the concept of the new map Fracture. I think it's really cool because it reminds me a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. It's another game I've played in the past, and I kind of understand the grasp of attackers starting from the outside of the map and working their way in on the defense. I think it would be really cool, and it would be a really good experience for us because most of the maps are pretty similar in Valorant, other than maybe Icebox and Breeze, which are a little different. But that's good for the game overall. You don't want to be playing the same exact type of map every time. You get really stale really fast, and so I think it's good for Valorant to keep adding these maps, and over time we'll have a really diverse pool, and I think if they do it correctly, it should be really fun. Definitely got to buff it. JETT is really good. It's one of the easiest characters in the game to play at a base level, but at a high level, it's one of the most overpowered agents in the game for sure. Everything that you're able to do just from one agent slot is ridiculous, and she just provides so much impact that no other agent can really bring. I think so. JETT is one of the most overpowered characters in all of Valorant, so we definitely gotta nerf her for sure. We gotta get her in line, put her in her place. Definitely a nerf. Battalion 1944. I don't even know where to start with this one. Probably one of my favorite games of all time, if not my most favorite game of all time. The community in this game was phenomenal, and it wasn't a huge success either. There's a bunch of backers in the beginning. There was over 15,000 players on day one. Servers went offline for some reason for a whole week. They weren't able to load it up, and the player base just died. It was barely holding 1,000 players after that, and the game was fantastic. There was nothing wrong with the gameplay at all. Everyone who played it said they loved it, and so I kept playing it. Everyone else kind of quit. I had nothing to do. I was just going to school. I was playing Battalion on the side, and I mean, the people I met, lifelong friends, the people I played against are also pros in other games. The competition was there. Even won my first LAN event in this game. Learned so much as a competitor, and just it really transformed my game, and I would not be where I am without the game. So gotta thank the devs, gotta thank the community in NA and everyone who backed it. So definitely gotta buff it. It's the most underrated game of all time for sure. WHATABURGER, definitely like WHATABURGER. We had it on my vacation trip last week. We cooked our own burgers, and we had WHATABURGER burgers, patties, and it was really good. And I actually have been to a couple of them. They're in Detroit downtown, and then there's another location they just added. So they're definitely in my hometown. It's really popular, and I love the show as well. So definitely got to buff WHATABURGER. It's insane. Michigan. Everything about Michigan I love. There's no natural disasters. Everyone's, worrying about the hurricane that's out right now and all the flooding that's going on. I've never once had a natural disaster in Michigan, and we're not a threat at all. At the Great Lakes, you get amazing, swimming anywhere you are in the state if you're on a coast pretty much. Camping's amazing. The sites up north, if you just drive a couple hours north, it's beautiful. Some of the most beautiful areas in the world for sure. Everything about Michigan just, feels like a homey place. It feels like your true home. And I miss, not living in Michigan. Living in the team house in Austin has definitely been new for me, but I love Michigan to death. Gotta buff it. Super underrated. Touching grass. People say I'm going to play better if I touch grass, or, when I'm playing too well, they tell me I got to touch grass, but I'll be honest, touching grass makes you worse. Way overrated. Gotta nerf it. I mean, what are these guys talking about? Touching grass makes you much worse. Gotta nerf it. Lionel Messi. I'm a big football fan. Sorry, soccer, if you like me to call it soccer. Roy will kill me for that one, but it's one of my favorite sports to watch nowadays because, people can play for so long. It's super competitive, and it's all across the world, so everyone can get involved. But, I mean, Lionel Messi is the GOAT in my book. He's the best player of all time. His transfer to PSG is going to be insane. I think this year is going to be really weird with, him reuniting with Neymar, and I don't know. This is going to be a crazy season for PSG. I think they can go really far in the Champions League this year. Definitely got to buff it. Thank you guys for watching this video and supporting XSET. I appreciate every single one of you. It's been fun. I've had a blast. My Twitch is the BCJ. You can follow me on there. I'll be daily streaming. My Twitter is at T1BCJ. I know, give me a break, guys. Come on. I'm struggling here to get it changed, but we can't. We'll have to stick with T1BCJ for now. And yeah, thank you guys again. Appreciate every single one of you, and have a good night.